Welcome to our very first episode of the Evolve Exchange. This is where we're bringing real conversations to our partners, to our vendors, and inviting great guests to have great conversations. I'm Courteney Kettyle, and this is Paul Fletcher, and we are joined with Dee Patel, our very own solutions consultant here at Evolve IP. So Dee, great to have you here. To start off, can you tell us a little bit about your role at Evolve IP and trends you're currently seeing in conversations with partners and customers?
Thank you for having me. So I work as part of the solutions consultants team. At Evolve, I've been here a year.
Just about,
give or take. It'll be about a year. Completely different to what I've done previously. Really enjoying it. See myself as a extended arm to all of our partners that we deal with. So we test solutions, new solutions. We look at existing solutions, how we can improve them. We're the team that you give us a problem and we'll provide you a solution to fit that problem.
There's been a huge change in how businesses communicate and operate, hybrid work, AI, mobility. Where do you think we are in that transformation journey?
So I think we've come from people having on-site PBXs, moving to the cloud. A lot of it was forced with COVID. People needed to work hybrid, people needed to work remotely. They knew they couldn't do that. So we've seen businesses make that change. Now what we're looking at is probably customers where they want to increase efficiency. You know, the market that we're in, the economy that we're in at the moment, everyone's very stretched. Everyone's at that limit of doing everything and, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. How can we help them become those masters of those areas that they're in? So I think we're on that curve now where we're looking at improving customer experience, improving automation, using AI. We're on the start of that curve. I think that's where the industry sits right now. We've got people doing hybrid working. We've got people flexible working. People work at home. People work at the beach. People working in office. You can do whatever you can. You know, we are promoting that anywhere business mobility kind of solution, which people have adopted. Now it's how do we make your job easier for the agents that are using the services, but also how do we make it more efficient and streamlined for the customers using those services on the other side?
I think UCaaS has become the kind of accepted norm now, isn't it? Everyone is, when they're looking at phone systems, the last question they ask is if it's cloud hosted. They expect it to be cloud hosted. It's now, how can this help me achieve Y? How can I get more out of my members of staff? How can I get more data? How can I get more information about what is happening within my business? The fact that a piece of plastic rings on the desk and I don't have to pay a big maintenance contract for a bit of tin in the IT closet, that's kind of an expected norm.
It's no longer a commodity. It's not the tick box. Okay, so I've got calls coming in. It rings a group of phones. Great. Like that's how I talk to my customers. Now it's omni-channel. Now we're looking at different areas. So can we integrate WhatsApp? Can we do text messaging? Is it phone calls? Can we do emails? Is there that whole single pane of glass that I can just utilize by logging into one system? How does it actually benefit not just my customers, but the agents that I'm working with at the time as well? So I think that's where the industry's at in terms of moving forward now. How do we make everything more efficient, more productive, and those sort of menial tasks which get bogged down with agents, how can we free up that time to make them become more productive in what they're doing?
Yeah, and I think mobility is going to be a key thing to that as well. I think everybody understands cloud telephony. They know I can use Teams and WebEx on my mobile phone and on my app, but I guess probably the stumbling block to maybe the adoption by those end users that are potentially traveling a lot, be it by train, by rail, that's the same thing, by rail or by road. When we're in the big towns, the big cities, yeah, it's great. I can have a seamless WebEx call. I can have a seamless Teams call. I think the key thing now moving forward for mobility is products like fixed mobile convergence, where you're less reliant on data connection. You can then start using traditional voice mobile calls, which, just by the way that the mobile telephony market was built from ground one, it's not a data packet, so it doesn't hang on until I leave that honeycomb of the mobile network, so I don't get that latency anymore. As soon as I see the next antenna, I move to it. So when I'm traveling down the M4 corridor, I know I can have a work call from my mobile and it not be dropping out, or I sound like I'm in Australia, or I'm using dial-up internet in the 90s. I'm not going to be stuttering. I'm not going to be buffering. But from a peace of mind point of view, from the actual business, that call is then recorded and reported on. I'm compliant.
Yeah.
And that has been, as much as we've been cloud hosted for a while, mobility has probably been the one stumbling block in terms of true mobility. In terms of, I can work from the CAF, I can work from my office at home, I can work in the office. It's great. Still a fixed location, just anywhere. Actually working anywhere in the true sense is going to be the key, I think, to having a successful UCAS offering.
And also, I think where we've got apps, so you have got a WebEx app, you have got a Teams app, but like me and you travel quite a bit, we're on the road quite a bit, so it's like you're driving, you can't flick through your apps, you try and make a phone call, you want to just hit the button on your steering wheel, you want to call Paul Fletcher, and you need it to call Paul Fletcher, and then we need to discuss what we're talking about, rather than you sitting there trying to, okay, I've got to pull over, take a break, services, pull over, is it a good signal? It is one of those things where the FMC piece that you're talking about is going to make you truly mobile. And for the stats, if you're using it, and we've always said it as well in terms of like people use their mobile phones. Most days now, people are using a BYOD, bring your own device sort of policy. But actually, if you want to try and keep it contained within the business, FMC is your tick box. It'll present your DDI number. It doesn't present your mobile number. Your customers are contacting your salespeople on a DDI number. If that salesperson leaves, you've still got the details because they're not taking their mobile number with them. They're still going to come through and answer the calls with their business. So you're retaining a little bit of that interaction that you've got.
Yeah, and I guess from an end user's point of view, it stops that big brother fear. There's no app installed. Whatever else I do on my mobile, you're not going to see. You're not going to know. You don't know. You're not going to be able to see my 15,000 images from my latest holiday. You're not going to be able to see what apps and web browsing I do. You're just going to see what call goes through that SIM card.
Yep.
And again, so that's peace of mind on both sides of the divide, really.
Yeah.
As we look ahead into 2026, why is this the right time to talk about the future of work and emerging technologies?
We'll band it about because everyone's banding it about, but AI, I think there's a little bit of a thing with AI, but at the moment, if you see the sort of news articles, AI is coming for your job, it's going to make you redundant, it's going to take you out of the workplace and everything. But actually, like I'd tend to try and flip that and say, I don't think AI is coming for your jobs. People buy from people. People want to talk to people. What AI is going to do is it's going to take away your agents having to do those menial tasks, those monotonous jobs. Okay, you want to get a password reset because you've done something. Actually, speak to someone, let that be done automatically. Let the automation, confirm who you are, do your data protection, go through security, reset your password, ping it out to your mobile phone. Happy days, just job done. That frees up your agent to be more productive. But that curve that we've got now is, what else can that do? So the AI agent will allow you to take that away and improve your training, improve your productivity. Whereas you might have taken 10 weeks to train a new person to get onto the phones, you can actually do that in half the time because your AI assistant could be popping up things like Copilot prompts, showing you how to deal with those queries. We're on that verge now where we can use it to the benefit of a company. You can use it for the benefit of not just a company in terms of costs and reduction in that sort of aspect, but actually improving the knowledge that you're giving to your agents as well. So don't think we're on this thing to go, okay, we're going to cut all your seats and we're going to stop all your licenses and everything. But actually, I think it needs to be looked at from a different aspect because it's an aid out there. Everyone uses ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude, all the ones out there anyway. So why not utilize those features to make you more productive agent when you are dealing with those calls, dealing with those customer queries? You take 2 weeks off work, you come back, you're not sure because the new product's been released. Actually, you could take a phone call, it pops up all that info, so you look like you're actually not even taking a day off. You know all that information.
Yeah, it's about making your agents more knowledgeable, the information more readily available, and as you say, taking away the annoying small admin tasks away. But like you say, the sort of agent assist model, actually, from a customer service point of view, that's only going to go up because you're giving the knowledge and the power to your agents first time. So you're going to be cutting down those on hold times. You're going to be bringing up those NPS scores when we all get the annoying text message after we've spoken to a call center on a scale of 1 to 5, how you rate it. Generally, people only reply if they've had a really poor service and they're giving you a 1, or they've had a great service and they want to give you a number 5. What the kind of that drive to improve that customer service with that more knowledge, everything being, potentially first-time fixes as well. Yep. You're going to give everybody back in the world more time in their lives. The agent is going to be able to field more calls because they're not having to double the call length with putting someone on hold and trying to find the information or escalating the call to somebody else. The customer calling in is going to get more time because they're resolved first time and not having to ring in 6-7 times to, has this been resolved now? Can I have an update now? Can I do this now? X, Y, and Z. So, I think AI, in terms of, it's not going to replace humans. It's just going to make us more intelligent in terms of giving us the information. It might make us less curious because the information is given to us. Yeah. But it's going to make, from a customer service point of view and an efficiency point of view, it's really going to drive CSAT up and efficiency. It's going to make us more and more efficient.
Yeah, things like call handling times will come down. Imagine like you call through, you can use your voice as your password. Straight away, you're not having to do that. Can I take your full name, your postcode, your address? Can I take your date of birth? What was your last transaction date? Blah, blah, blah. All of those boring things that people don't want to go through. Yeah. And as a customer calling in, it's bad enough doing that once, but can you imagine an agent having to ask those questions 400 times a day? Yeah. Like, actually, if they could just go through any flags on the system that they've already confirmed security, you're straight in. Yeah. So that kind of efficiency is just...
And equally on the other end of the call as well, your auto summaries, auto disposition codes, the bot has sat there, it's listened to your conversation, it's highlighted the key points. Yes, I still have a custom notes field that I can add things that it hasn't potentially grabbed, but it's only going to learn more as you put those custom notes in. The time period, unfortunately, for those agents between calls is going to be short as well. I don't need 20 minutes to write my notes up anymore. I need 30 seconds to tick, yep, that's acceptable, away it goes.
Also, though, consistency of notes. Yeah. How many times have you taken a call? I've worked in call centers in a previous life, and you take a phone call and you look at the notes the person before you has left, and it's like 6 words. Yeah. You can't understand what that means. You don't know what that means. But actually, being able to just copy and paste the summarization of your notes, if everyone in your call center is doing it, when a call does come through, if it is a repeat call, you've got all the detail there. You're not, somebody just hasn't left 10 words and somebody else has written a 300-word thesis on it. So actually, having that sort of summarization is just going to help everyone to become a better person when they're dealing with queries.
Do you think businesses are focusing less on just tools and more on creating unified, human-centered experiences?
Yeah, I think whereas phone systems were a commodity previously, you just wanted 15 desk phones, they ring simultaneously, they ring in a simple hunt group, and you just want people to answer the phone. Customers or companies now want a customer experience, CSAT scores, NPS scores, all of those things are being targeted and looked at. You go onto somebody's website now and you see their NPS rating, you see their customer satisfaction scores, and that's a sell for a customer, because if their scores are really high, then the people that are buying their products, people that are buying their solutions know that actually if they come across an issue, which, nothing's perfect, if you do have to contact us, we're really good in what we do. We look after you at the end user, we look after you as a customer. So that's a big tick in their box. So I think people, or companies, should I say, are going to be looking for solutions that offer that. It's not just a tick box. It is something that we can wrap into it. We can make our agents more efficient. We can make our customers happier. And anything that does that is what they want. But they're also going to want extra things in there as well, because they're not going to just want, the phone call comes in. They want integration into their CRM system. They want to make sure that they're PCI compliant. They want to know statistics. So are we taking these calls? But not just if we're taking 1,000 calls a day. What types of calls are we taking? So if we can analyze that data and then feed back on it, we can actually, out of those 1,000 calls, 300 of those are actually just password resets. Can we automate this? Do we need to spend some time in developing that sort of concept? So actually take that away.
Yeah, I think also, if you look at or if we look at our own individual buying habits now, there's probably 2 things that make us decide on what we're going to do, and it depends on how much we're going to spend on something. So if we're going cheap and cheerful, it's ease and convenience. Hence why Amazon have made so much money, you think, since probably 2020, particularly in those big city areas, same day delivery. Somewhere slightly bit outside of that, I've got it next day and I've got it for free, and if there's a problem I can just send it back and talk to somebody instantly. With those small ticket items, it's ease, convenience, get it done and dusted. But then those big ticket items where money's almost no object, it has to be customer service driven. And that's where all the different tools and all the different data has to come together. It can't be just buying one thing now to sort of go, yeah, that ticks every box. That's why we need, as you touched on, kind of analysing the call qualities that are coming in. You know, what are the conversations that my agents are kind of having, making sure they have all the information to hand. You know, if you're a 5-star hotel, you're not going to be expecting someone to go to a self-service touchscreen to check in. That goes to human interaction and conversation, and your telephone system is, or your website, because you know we are omni-channel. That chatbot environment, that's the first impression someone is ever going to get of you of a business. It's crucial, and I think I kind of said it in the past that your connectivity is kind of replaced cash flow now in terms of as the livelihood of a business. Your first impression and how you're able to put yourself across and how you're able to answer or communicate is slowly overtaking connectivity in that kind of environment. Because if you can't communicate and you can't understand what your customers want from you, you're never going to really get anywhere and succeed.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the other thing with customer bases is it's churn, isn't it? Like, it's all right adopting a new customer, you tie them into their contract, happy days. But actually, you need to make sure that you're keeping them satisfied, you're answering their queries throughout, you're helping them and assisting them throughout the journey of their contract. Because come the end of the contract, if you haven't been able to do that, you haven't been able to keep that satisfaction high, you're going to lose the customer. You can't just throw money at a customer now and just go, right, we're rock bottom price, because actually service is more important. People pay more for a better service if you've got a consistent high level of service, because they know that they don't have any issues with you.
Evolve IP is always focused on helping businesses work securely from anywhere. How is that vision evolving as we move through 2026?
I think we're just improving on what we currently have now in terms of the security that we have in the data centers, our level 4 tier data centers that we use in terms of our environment, the things in terms of vendors that we're using, the compliancy that we're ensuring that they have before we onboard them. You know, just because they're a great vendor, have some great reviews, we're looking at everything from a vendor. We've done loads of testing and we've looked at people and gone, the product might be great, but actually they don't comply to a lot of the security that we need. And if you're not compliant with it, are you becoming compliant is a question. But if you're not, then we're just going to have to, unfortunately, sideline you for a moment because it is super important for us. But then the customers expect it. Customers, we hear so much about data breaches. We hear so much about issues that customers have had in terms of, recently you've got Marks & Spencer, you've had Jaguar Land Rover. All of that stuff just shows actually how much impact an issue in terms of a security breach can have. So I think in terms of our phone system, we need to ensure that we're offering you a solid phone system in terms of the way that we look after it, the way that it's secure, but then all the vendor issues that we have in terms of who we're supplying from, they need to also be up there with the security as well. So I think in terms of what we're doing, we continue on how we've always done. We've got a concrete foundation with who we work with. We've chosen best of breed. So the likes of a Kixi, the likes of Dubber, the likes of Tango Networks for their FMC piece. All of those options that we have, we've ensured that we're just not picking them because they tick a box, but they're future-proof, they're growing as we're growing. So security is always at the forefront of our minds. But I don't think it ever lapses. We're always constantly looking to improve on what we're doing, who we're with.
Yeah, I think you're right. The vendor management piece is probably the most important thing that we do. You know, we carry ISO certifications, we're SOC 2 compliant. If our partners aren't, then we can't stand behind it that we are as well. So yeah, we have to hold everybody to the same standard that we've invested in time, money, effort into ensuring that we tick all those boxes. Because again, it's a question that we're constantly asked. Yeah, the traditional telco resellers aren't traditional telco resellers anymore. A lot of them are MSPs. A lot of them are selling cybersecurity, cyber essentials. There's a lot more security conscious people in the marketplace, particularly that we deal with now, that if you're not security conscious, you're struggling to hold down many conversations, be that even with the end customer. Yeah, that, as you say, a lot of high profile security breaches, have made even the smallest, 1 man, 2 man, 5 man bands invest in, cyber security. And how do you ring fence that? Because telephony isn't going over a little bit of copper wire anymore that someone's tapping into, like we watched in the James Bond films in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, everything is going through this big scary data network. And if you're not conscious of ensuring that everything is up to date and secure, it's not a telephony conversation anymore. It's a full on
and it's detrimental.
IT conversation. Yeah.
If there's a breach, we've heard like so many companies in the news, they've had a breach, they've not been able to recover systems, and that's it.
Yep.
That's basically end of company by the time they can't bring themselves back up to it. They can't pay the ransomware fees. Like what do you do as a company? So you need to ensure that who you're dealing with, who you're partnering with, the people that you're talking to in terms of your solutions, they need to ensure that they've got the best.
What advice would you give to partners looking to future-proof their offering and stay competitive over the next few years?
In terms of partners, I think the question now is no longer do you just need a pre-sales person or a salesperson to just go in and go, this is what we can do, this is the tick boxes. It's not a tick box exercise no more. I think they actually need solutions consultants. I think that it's no longer you're going in and saying, I need to be able to work from anywhere. I need to be able to handle this many volume of calls. These are the type of hunt groups I have, and these are the desk phones that I need to have. I don't think that now is not an option. It's not a commodity anymore. I think you need to go in there and go, this is a solution we can sell you, and this is what it might look like on day 1. But actually, on day 90, if we need to tweak it, we can. And on day 180, you now boosted your sales. You need to then add items onto it. We can do that for you. So you might not take a full suite of products from someone straight from the offset, but actually you need somebody to look at your business and go, this is what you currently have. This is what you say that you want to do, which is just probably a carbon copy. We've seen it loads. Customer takes on a new product from us and they just want to carbon copy what they've already got. But what they need to be doing is having a conversation and going, instead of taking a carbon copy, you're going to invest in this change. How can this solution provide you with efficiency? How can this solution make your team stronger? How can this solution improve your NPS, improve your customer satisfaction scores? Those are the questions that need to be asked. What does your security look like? Are you taking payments? Are you compliant with PCI? What are you doing now? Because you can't just pause and resume call recording and think that's a tick box now. That law changed over a year ago. So, you're breaching the law every time you're taking those pause and resume payments. And we know what happens. Agents don't press the buttons, don't push the code into their phone. I think what resellers need to do, and this is where we come in as a team, in terms of Evolve IP, you've got massive resellers out there and they can resource and they can have a solutions team. They can have a solutions person within their business and they can afford that resource to go, actually, we're bringing in these big deals. We can afford to have somebody to go out like us. But actually, for a lot of our resellers, they don't have that technicality. They don't have that resource that they can have. This is where we become an extended arm of their business. So we will come in and go, actually, do you want us to come in as Evolve IP as a consultant, or do you want us to act on behalf of you? And then we will do that pre-sales stroke pre-solution conversation. So what do you have now? What do you want to move to? Where do you want to go in the business? And that's where we can come up with our ideas and we can help tailor that solution for that customer via that partner, because that partner might not have the resource, like I say. So I think that's a big difference that I'm noticing. We're no longer having just a conversation in tick boxes and someone sends in a contract and goes, we're currently taking 100 seats here and this is what we're going to do with it. I think they want to know, actually, we're looking at, purchasing a new CRM or integrating into something differently, or we want to go omni-channel now. That's the conversations you need to have. So it's all right carbon copying phone calls, but actually if you've just spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on a website and you've put WhatsApp and you've put web chat on there, how are you going to deal with all those queries? Yeah. Like, how can we work together and grow with the customer as a business via the reseller?
Yeah, I don't think the phrasing's really changed in the way that we have to sell for a number of years. I just think it's become more important. And it is what you say, solution selling. We got to go away from transaction selling. And people listening to this are probably fed up with people saying, "Oh, we need to solution sell," but it isn't. It hasn't been more important than it is right now. Having multiple touch points within the business and understanding what's happening, what are they looking to achieve, what outcomes do they want. If they just want a phone system to answer calls, fine. Everyone can tick that box. Everyone can do that. But as you kind of say that, you've got potentially a finance department implementing a new payment gateway that they need to integrate, and they want to take payments over the phone. You've got a customer service team that have got a new ticketing software that they need to integrate. Right. Multiple businesses now, from even in the SME industry, or the SME size businesses, that are 10 users in one business. A few of them are probably wearing different hats, so they're going to have quite unique requirements to what they need. And yeah, like I say, solution selling isn't a new term. It's something that I was told when I first got into the industry, 12 years ago. But it's just never been more relevant than it is now, really. Yeah, we need to understand A, what the customer wants, but B, more importantly, what the customer outcome that they want to achieve is. Yeah. Because cool, I've signed you up for a phone system for 3 years, but if I've not solved the internal issues or internal changes and got those outcomes nailed and resolved, in 3 years' time, someone else is going to come in and have that conversation.
Yeah, and the problem is when they come in 3 years' time, they're going to show all this integration, automation, AI, single pane of glass to be able to answer all your omni-channel queries. Yeah. You've been left behind. Yeah. And you don't want to be left behind. Even if you can show it on day one, like I say, to say you can end up at this point, but you're only taking the basic phone system. But as you grow, we're here to grow with you. They'll always remember that those conversations are had. So yeah, Dee had a conversation and he spoke to us about web chat right on day one. Like, now that we've introduced our updated website, let's get back in touch. Like, what was it that they said? Because potentially that might be 6-9 months later. It could be 12 months later. But actually, if we've had that conversation, they're not going to go looking elsewhere for an answer. Yeah. They're going to come back to you.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's kind of just keeping, as you say, being an extension of their business really is the most important thing, because there's nothing harder than going back to a customer you've already sold to, going, we've got this lovely brand new product that you really need to look at, and you're trying to get them to crowbar open their wallet again and get them to spend more with you. If you've had those conversations and you've sown the seed at day one that this is a solution that can grow, and okay, you are currently using X CRM platform that is old and doesn't have API integration, therefore at the minute nobody can do anything because it's not an open source, but they move to something, they already know that you can do something like that. So I think that's, like you say, be that extension, understand what they want, but understand actually what the business wants to achieve.
If you could describe 2026 in one word, what would it be and why?
See, it's going to sound really cheesy, but it's going to have to be AI, isn't it? AI and automation is basically where it's going to be. I think, like I say, I keep saying it, we're on that start of that trajectory curve now, where it used to be something that I think if you had your multi-million-pound business, you would invest in. But that's not the case no more. I think we've seen that value come down now. You don't need to be a multi-million pound business, dollar business. You can be just a SME level business that just wants to do something really simple. They just want to take away some gripes from their customer service team. Like, we don't want to get everybody asking 6 DPA questions before they actually start speaking to someone. Can we just use their voice as their password? Yes, we can. Okay, so let's do that. But I think AI, you're not going to get away from it. I don't think, whatever industry you're in, whether you're in phone systems, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in whatever vertical you're looking at, I think that is just going to be a key buzzword. But like I said, I don't think people should be afraid of it. I don't think people should be like, right, if we take on an AI-based contact center environment, that's it, we're done. We're going to lose all our jobs. Our customer service team's going to be made redundant. We're going to free up like 20 salaries and something like that. I don't think that is the case at all. I actually think people need to flip the coin and look at it from the other side and go, actually, this is an investment into us as well. So a lot of people always aim to look at it from the customer side. Yes, we got to get customers, we got to bring them on. But actually, I've been on the other side as an agent. So having something, if I could look at talk desk now, and if I had something like that when I was a call center agent, it'd have made my life so much easier. Like the times you're putting somebody on hold, speaking to somebody else, looking at your internal intranet to try and find a document. But the fact that you could be logged into it, it pops up with the keywords because it's already taken the transcription of your phone call, noted the keywords out of it, and showed you the new product that got launched when you was on holiday that you've not known anything about. And then you're able to look at that document immediately. Those little things are the little things that people should be looking at and going, actually, that's going to be really beneficial for me. So you're selling it internally before you're even selling it externally to your customers.
I think for me, the word is opportunity. I think that's the big word for 2026. There's so much opportunity out there, and it's not just UCAS. UCAS will give you opportunity, but UCAS will just become your bread and butter. It will, sell itself because that's what people are looking for. But the opportunities are exactly what we've kind of touched on, those problem-solving things. So if I can solve that efficiency rate, if I can solve that, how can I take payment in a compliant way? How can I get information on what people are calling me about? How many people are calling me? If you can solve those situations for customers, the initial sale becomes easier. The initial sale becomes greater for you. But also those customers, then you're buying their loyalty because they've come to you and you've solved something for them. No one's going to be happier than someone having solved a problem for them. Yeah. They don't want to solve things themselves. They are coming to you as a trusted tech advisor. So if you've got the knowledge, the product set, then the opportunity is massive for you in 2026. Yeah, economically, people may not be looking to spend money, but some will be because they are having other challenges within the business that they need to resolve, and you can resolve that with a plethora of product set.
Yeah, it's a return on investment, isn't it? At the end of the day, you've got to have some sort of investment to come back and go, actually, this is a really good return. Like, how many times do we talk about things like, so you record all your calls, but actually, you and I both know no team leader has got enough hours in the day to listen to every one of those calls and understand what the call was about, what the trend was of that call, what questions were they asking on that call. But we could use double sentiment analysis and go, actually, you get a summary. 7 days later, every weekend, you'll get a summary of your 7 days, and you can go, complaints were up this week, sales close were up this week. Actually, that little bit of AI, it's not a full-blown AI contact center of any sort. It's just a little introduction to go, you've got all this data, let's analyze your data and go, you had 100 complaints this week. What were those complaints about? What were the key words? Now you've got a team leader who can go and actually click on those calls, listen back to them, look at a transcription and go, actually, the complaints are all about a product because we're missing a key piece of information on the flyer that we send out with it. So if we update the flyer, we stop all those calls coming in. It answers all those queries that we're getting. Our agents aren't getting absolutely hammered with calls every 2 seconds and then repeating themselves because it's that key piece of information. But actually, simple little tricks like that, we're not talking thousands of pounds worth of costs. We're talking small amounts for a massive return on investment.
And finally, what do you hope our listeners take away from this discussion about our future of work?
I think what they should take away is that Evolve IP, we are an extended arm of your business. So if you need to speak to a reseller and you're wondering any question about how they can improve their service, what we can do for them, just reach out to us. Like, we're not going to shy away from you. Our resellers will always help you. We can put you in touch with the right people, but we can turn around and say, don't be scared of AI. You don't have to have complicated solutions. We can make everything real simple for you. And if you just want introductions, we can just do a simple introduction into it. And if you want a full-blown suite contact center that does everything and turns on your Christmas lights when it rings the phone, we could probably do that. Could we do that? Probably do something.
It's got an API, mate. We can do it.
It's got an API. We can do anything. Yeah. So I think that's what people need to take away is that don't be afraid of AI. Don't think it's coming for your jobs. We're here to make your lives easier. That's what it's going to do. Look at the opportunities. We can grow with you as a partner, as a reseller. We can help those customers achieve all those things that they want to achieve. And we can just have an open conversation. I don't think that's there's no harm in just having those open conversations. We will get to a solution. And I'm pretty sure if we can't get to a solution, we'll put our hands up and say, that's just not achievable. But what we will be able to say is, that's not achievable, but this is.
For me, it's partnership. And I think we'll see that throughout the series of pods that we hopefully host together over the next few months. But our partnerships with it, be our partners or our vendor partnerships as well. We invest our time in making you the most effective partners that you can be that by offering our own time and expertise to help you demo stuff or understand a product, or just give you the tools that you require to make yourselves more self-sufficient. I think the big thing for Evolve IP this year is going to be partnerships, working closer and better with those partners and making them stronger relationships throughout the year.
That's all for today's episode on the Evolve Exchange. Thank you very much to Dee Patel for joining me, Courteney Kettyle and Paul Fletcher on our latest episode, and we look forward to inviting our next guest to keep the conversation going.